to learn about how to publish a package on NPM. Okay, so what is a package? First of all, so package is a small utility code that can be used in any project and shared over registry. So when we go to the NPM meaning that in Node.js is a Node.js package manager. Node.js package manager is a package manager that is a type of database, saves your code and let other users to share your code over internet. Meaning that let's say you have a very awesome idea, okay, and about a particular piece of utility in your code. For example, creating a server, doing some kind of puppeteer work, doing API calls, for example, Axios. So what you can do, you can write your code and publish a package to a repository like NPM. And once you publish it, anyone is using a Node.js can install that package in their library, in their code, and use it as it is. So for example, let's give you an example of Axios. Axios is one of the best library that I am using for communication over HTTP protocols, whether it's for client side or server side. So for example, this is a Axios package written by some other company called Axios. Okay, it has everything that a user can have, and it is people are downloading it around 40 million downloads a week. Okay, and size is this, and it has all the documentation. So we are going to create some utility NPM package and publish it on the NPM registry with TypeScript. Okay, with types. So whenever someone is showing your code, is using your package, that package will be type safe. So let's get started. So what we are going to do, we are going to write a program that only does a very small thing called check if a domain name exists or not over the internet, or okay, using a DNS lookup. Okay, so let's get started. We need to come up here and do the npm initialization of npm. To do this, we need to run this following command and open the package.json and change the package name according to your requirement. For example, litl check. Okay, that's all we are going to do. We are going to remove this line. We are going to remove this line as well. We don't need it. And we are going to install some dev dependency. Dev dependency in the sense of TypeScript. So now we need to install the TypeScript. We are npm install TypeScript. Once we are going to call it TypeScript. So, and we are going to call the TypeScript to initialize the types. So once we have installed the TypeScript, we need to write at npx. Now initialize the TypeScript project. So yeah. So what is the npx? Npx meaning that npm executable. So whenever we write down npx, it's going to check two directories. It's going to check our current directory, whether it has a node modules on package.json or not. Once it has package.json and node.js, it is going to go to the node.js folder and go to the bin directory. Once it is going to bin directory, there is a tsc command. It's going to run this utility. This is provided by TypeScript itself. If there is no tsc command found in this directory, then it's going to be checking our home directory. If those both are not found, then it's going to throw an error. Now we need to update our tsconfig file with basic options like updating the .dir. Also, I need to update the base URL. Okay, after check if everything is strict, and also update the RDR. RDR is a project where our output will be exported. So yeah, let me create a package folder called src, and then we are going to say that first of all we are going to write down build command and tsc, and once we are going to say here main.ts. okay, and let's write some logic to do it here. So the first of all we are going to import the DNS module provided by Node.js itself. So install some extensions. I like instances a lot actually. We are going to write down a function called Then we are going to come here. We are going to pass one argument as a string. Once we have done this, so in this way, we always have the same type of data to check, okay? And then what we need to do is we need to do one thing. We need to make it a promisable function. Now we need to come to our VS Code and write the logic for the main functionality. In my case, which is to return a promise to check the DNS lookup, whether if it's true or false, okay? And then what we need to do is, then we need to write some test for it. To do the writing some test, we need to import the utility function from our main function and import the utility function from Node.js itself, like assert and test. Once we have imported it, writing the test, we need to create an alias to test the utility, test the code, and then we can write the logic for to cover all the possible logic for our test cases. For example, checking if the domain exists, does not exist, and check if our code is successfully passed or not. Once we have everything is passed, go to the package.json and update the package.json accordingly, like add the proper description, add the proper version. For example, in my case, it is 0.0.1. Also, we need to define our entry point for both TypeScript and JS. For JS, which is out.main.js, and TypeScript, we need to export the declaration and also type. Okay. So this will be our SEO keywords. As what is the author name? The author name is Mies, and the license is MIT. It's public license. Author is you can publish your own author name. I will be setting up later. Now what we need to do is we need to write our documentation in a clear and minor way. So anyone who is looking at our project can understand it very clearly. What is our project, what we are trying to do, and what not we are trying to do. So we need to create a file called readme.ts, readme.md. Okay. And okay, so first of all, we need to define the header, the project name. Okay. And check domain. So what is the purpose? It will be nice if you do this kind of things always. Yeah. Now what we need to do? Now what we need to do is we need to deploy our code to GitHub. Okay. Call it check types. Find git ignore. Git. This is a very important file that helps Git command line tool to remember what folders that it need to check and what folder does not need to check and deploy it to the production. So first of all, what we need to do is to ignore the important file that we do not want to push to GitHub. And now what we need to do, we need to also define the npm ignore. npm ignore meaning that it let know that what files that it needs to be deployed and what file it does not need to deploy on the GitHub registry. Otherwise, it will deploy everything, whatever it is. So it does not need to deploy tsconfig.json. It does not need to deploy git ignore. It does not need to deploy node modules. It does not need to deploy source. We only need to deploy these 1, 2, 3, and 4 folders. Okay. So first of all, let's go there and git edit. Git add commit -m YouTube tutorial to push code. Git push origin main. So yeah, everything has been pushed. What we need to define is, we need to define this thing here. Or these are the things that we need to always remember. Okay, everything is now published. Looks good. And what we need to do is, we need to do a very simple thing. NPM add user. NPM add user is let you to authorize. Since I have already an account on NPM, I will use my existing. If you do not have any account, please register it and then log in onto it. So we have now authorized application has been successful. Now we will run npm publish command to publish the package to the repository, and also we will make a script alias to help us to remember this command in the future. Now the access is public. Everything has been deployed. So let me go to my user. Okay. And yeah, it's publicly published. It has a proper example. Everything, the license is MIT. So see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and as much as I did. And yeah, I will put the repository link and GitHub link in the comments and the description below. Let me know what you think.